Morning everyone. Well, this is another job we're going to do. So unfortunately the liner here has got quite a lot of holes in it. A year after we put this pool in, down through here there was basically a big ridge came through and pushed the liner up, and that seems to have got a lot of holes or cracks in it all the way along, and they're impossible to repair. I found 4 holes in it and repaired those, but it still was leaking. So we've bought a new liner, and today we're going to replace the liner in the pool. So the first bit of the project here is to pull the decking off around the pool. So this is all bolted down with big 100mm deck screws, and so it's a pretty easy job. This actually, everything is 8 by 50 or 200 by 50 decking boards, and so we just go around and unscrew all those. It's actually relatively easy. All the screws came out, these big screws came out, and be able to pull it off pretty quickly. And then we're here starting to take off the top ridging around the pool. This is 2 parts of. There's a metal pit and then there's a plastic part. So use the plastic part to hold the liner while you're filling the pool up, and then the metal bit goes over top to hold everything. Now, as I started this job, I thought it would be relatively easy, but as we got into it, there was more issues. You can see here there's quite a bit of rust on the outside frame, which we'll need to fix as well. I think half the problem here is, as you can see, there's another liner, a tarp underneath, just between the sand and the pool liner, and as the pool has leaked, the water has got trapped between those two, and that's why I believe the ridge got pushed up on the actual pool liner. So before we actually put this back together, I actually made a hole in that tarp, and just so if any water did get between it could actually drain away. As you see here, we're pulling the eyeballs out, so they're the inlet eyeballs. Unfortunately, we've been leaking for a while, and I thought there was lots of leaks around, maybe through the eyeballs or through the skim unit, and so I'd actually used quite a bit of silicone to actually basically try and stop those from leaking, because that's where I thought it was leaking. Unfortunately, the silicone was quite a hard type. It's underwater silicone, and it's actually basically meant those eyeballs and fortunately the skimmer unit were unable to be reused. I basically had to cut a lot of that stuff out and broke them when I pulled them off. So new skimmer unit and new eyeballs, inlet eyeballs, had to be purchased for this job as well. Then we got into putting a bit of cold galv sealant over top of the rust spot. So you can see Caden's here painting that while I'm just scraping all the rust off with the wire brush. So this hopefully will just keep the steel reinforced liner on the outside a little bit longer, so it didn't rust all the way through. So the next job on the list here is actually just to smooth the sand out and put the tarp back down. Obviously want the tarp without any wrinkles on it. That's most important. So if there are no wrinkles in here, then there'd be no wrinkles in the actual pool liner itself. We then went round the edge of it and taped the tarp to the side of the steel liner. That just helps it keep it all in place while we're doing it and when we're laying the actual proper liner down. Right, and now we're into putting the liner down. So what they actually do recommend is actually to lay it out, obviously try and get it as flat as possible, but once you've got it laid out, basically leave it in the sun for a while and let it heat up, and that makes it much easier to actually get any wrinkles out. So I'm just going around with my feet here, pulling the liner as tight as possible around the outside, and then I'm going to let it in the sun. We're going to go and have some lunch, and then come back to it when it's a little bit softer and ready to actually stretch it even further. Right, now we're putting some water in. So they recommend just put about 25 mils of water in the bottom, and as it's slowly filling up, you start to tighten the well, stretch the liner around the outside and on the edges. So at the moment I'm still trying to get all the wrinkles out of the floor. As you see, as I'm going around, I'm actually using my feet to pull the liner to the edges, get all the wrinkles out. And it's a nice warm day, so it's actually relatively easy to do this. I thought this was going to be harder than it was, but getting all those wrinkles out on the floor wasn't too bad actually. From there we just kept filling the pool up slowly and kept getting any wrinkles out we possibly could. Once we got to the edge, then it's relatively actually starting to pull the sides up and get all the wrinkles out of the sides of the pool. At the moment that's all quite loose at this stage. We didn't want to have that fighting against us and trying to get the floor nice and level and with no basic ripples in it, which we did actually. It did come out pretty well actually, the floor. Now we fast forward quite a lot and you will see the pool slowly fill up as the water trickles in here. A bit like watching paint dry really. So I put a bit more water in last night and a few of the plastic outside clips had fallen. They've come off, it all got tight and they obviously pulled them off. So this morning we're just going to go around and pull the liner on the sides up so it's nice and tight, and we're going to put some more water in. So we're pretty much waiting for it to rain so I can fill it up, and then once we got it up probably about halfway or so, then I can start thinking about doing the skimmer unit and the eyeballs, the inlets. So this really is just a slow process of letting the pool fill up and pretty much going around and stretching the liner up on the walls to pull all the wrinkles and everything out. And as you can see here, as we stretch it and the water fills up, the wrinkles basically disappear. Yay, then we had some rain, so it's raining quite high here. We had about 60 mils, which is more than enough to fill our tank 1.5 times, and more than enough water to fill the pool right up. So here we are, we got the pool filled up. Unfortunately didn't get much video of that because it was raining and we just need to get the water in as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, normally what you do is you pull the liner up as you go along to get all the wrinkles out, but because we filled up as it was raining and I was actually at work that day, I didn't do that, but we were able to get most of the wrinkles out. You can't really see any wrinkles. There are a few at the bottom of these pillars through the middle, and that's where probably most of there's about 3 or 4 wrinkles right at the bottom where the liner turns and goes up the wall, and there's just a couple of ripples here and over here. It's the opposite each other on the pool, and I think that's because again there are some ripples down the bottom of these 3 pillars right at the bottom, and if I'd pulled those up it probably would have pulled the ripples out. Anyway, it's in and it's doing very well. We've got the new skimmer unit in here and it's all sealed up, seems to be working, no problem at all. It's all sealed. Got an eyeball there which is our water inlet and a float under there, so it's all working fine. And the inlet eyeballs down here, they're all checked out, they're not leaking, they're all good, which is excellent. And so really now it's just a matter of finishing off and putting the deck back on. We've got to put the sand back in the hole over there. Once we've done that, then I think it's time to check the heating out. We need to turn that on, make sure there's no leaks up there. It's all going, not like it's a day for heating, but It has been during the last week. Pool itself isn't that cold at the moment. Right, so got all the deck screwed back down. Actually needs to be a bit of a water blast and painted, but that'll be the next one of the next jobs on the list anyway. So right, so this is our filter area. The water comes in here, goes up through the motor, up in here until the filtration system, then comes back along here and then back down. Now what we do have here is, this is where the pipes go up to our heating system. So to make that work, basically this one's on at the moment, but this one's off, so we turn this one on and then this bypass we close. And you can start to hear it. So close the lid. Water will be now going up the roof, and it goes onto the manifold on the right and then goes into 13mm square alkathene, goes round the roof and then comes back down this side. And there's 32 runs. It's about 2 kilometres of alkathene on the roof. So they're 100-metre rolls, and so we generally got, I think it's about 16 metres, about 30 metres down and 30 metres back, so it's about 60 metres in one roll. And then we did a 40-metre run from the left over and had to use another 20 metres. So there are some joins on the roof which we need to check, make sure it's not leaking. This is the first time I've turned it on, and as you can see, it's quite a bit of air coming out of the system at the moment. So we'll just wait for that to flush through. But what we can check is see if there's any leaks on the incoming manifold. There's a little drip there on that. I might have to tighten those 2 clamps up there. Just checking along here, these all look good. Fortunately the old stainless steel clips haven't done too well, they're actually rusting. It's like the clip is stainless steel, but the actual screw part isn't. Anyway, it doesn't look like there's any runs there. So I might have to come back and just tighten this up. There's obviously just a slight little drip here. And I'll just tighten that clamp up and that should fix that. Now on the downside, now as you can see, this one is actually made out of stainless steel. I painted it and the paint's come off. But so I used to have 2 stainless steel manifolds. But on the other side there, it actually rusted out one of the holes and I couldn't stop it leaking, so I actually replaced it with all that PVC stuff, which was, I think, cost a couple $100, all those bits, and made that up. It's better than trying to weld up and get it all done on this side, which I've done. I got a professional guy to do this once upon a time. It didn't actually cost much, but it was a friend's son that did it. So none of this looks leaking. There's no drips on any of this at the moment, so that's good. So it's just one clamp we need to fix up. We do need to check the roof just in case there's a leak where the joins are. As you can see, the alkathene comes around the corner there, goes all the way along around here and then feeds back and up over the roof is the last bit. And the join, the 40-metre joins are around about here somewhere, I believe. Doesn't seem to be any leaking at the moment. I'll just give it a few more minutes and check. I have had one join break off. I think in the second year we did it. It was spraying up so you could see it quite easily. Generally on a hot day you can see the water if there's anything leaking, but it all looks pretty good to me, so we'll leave that on. Not like it's a really good day to heat up the pool though, no sun around, so it's probably not worth actually having on today. So after about a day I found quite a big leak in the heating system. You can see here there's actually a split in the one of the alkathene pipes where my finger is, and so I had to cut this out, and I basically cut about 1 metre out and put 2 joiners in and a new splice, a new piece in to get rid of this part. think this is probably a manufacturing flaw in that piece of alkathene actually, because it split quite a long way as I kept trying to cut it out. Anyway, got all that fixed, and heating's been working well. So here we are after a week, and the pool's been working really well. It's nice and clear, crisp, and it's not leaking any water. As you can see here, it's actually 30 degrees after a couple of days, and today I didn't even have the heating on. So, well, there we go. I think this was a relatively easy DIY job that most people can do if they wanted to. So thanks for watching, and catch everyone next time. Thanks.